All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my weekly review for this week's episode of Fear the Walking Dead Season 6. This is for episode 10 now. It is called Handle with Care. Alright, and possible spoiler warning if you guys have not seen this episode yet for Fear the Walking Dead. This episode now being the third episode of this back half of this season, and I'm not sure how many episodes are left. The wiki has just another 3 episodes listed for Fear for this half. Does that mean they were able to get done 6 episodes and we're actually, up to the halfway point, meaning we just have like a few left? Were they able to get done some more? I guess we'll have to see. But based on the Wikipedia, that's the episodes that are listed for this one. Now, I thought this was a different episode in watching this episode here. I thought that we were going to see the episode with kind of the mad scientist played by the guy who played Lex Luthor's dad in Smallville. But with Alicia in that episode, but it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing that one this week. Maybe that one will be saved for next week. Although it is strange because I thought that was what was shown in the preview videos, but it looks like either they had swapped out the episodes, or I don't know, something must have happened here where they either switched them around or they showed the wrong promo. Maybe there was something they wanted to fix or something that they needed to do in the other episode, so they had to somehow switch them around. As such, she's not in this episode here. So, Handle with Care, we get somewhat of a character a focus spotlight episode, this one on Daniel. And so Daniel has been in the series Fear the Walking Dead since the first season. He's one of our oldest running survivors in Fear. One of the only ones left from the first season. We still have Strand, we still have Daniel, we still have Alicia. And is that everybody from the first season of Fear? Luciana comes in later. I want to say that's basically, that's pretty much it. So we get to see a Daniel focus episode with this one, and it's an okay episode, I think. It's, I don't know. Obviously, this is another one that was filmed during the whole social distancing stuff, which we're kind of seeing now as sort of the norm. The last 2 episodes before this one were really incredible. There was the John episode, there was the Virginia episode, and now following up with the Daniel episode. So we start things off and we sort of get a couple timelines in this one going. We have one where Daniel is talking to somebody through some jail type of cell bars. And so we don't really understand why that is or what's going on here. And we kind of see the episode go through as you have Morgan who kind of leaves, and you have a meeting taking place here between a lot of the different survivors from different communities, which is kind of cool the way they sort of set this up in Fear, where it's sort of similar to like the original Walking Dead series after like All Out War. You have different communities and you have them having to sort of learn how to get together and how to cooperate. So we see something similar to that in this episode, and we have the group that Sherry is a part of with the SWAT vehicle and whatnot. We see Lawton, Strand coming from there. We have Morgan's group as well too, and so we have them all kind of getting together here and having a meeting as the episode plays out, with Morgan leaving and Daniel being in charge. So we have the meeting going through. We have the intro with, again, I like the intros because they spotlight, sort of focus on one character, whether it be John, Virginia, now Daniel. And we have the meeting going on here. Grace is looking very close to being able to, or being ready to deliver here. You can tell that she's kind of right there, probably in her, 8th, 9th month or what have you, just getting ready. And so, a lot of attention in the episode to trying to keep her safe first and foremost with the baby and everything, and sort of so we have Skidmark returning, which is kind of fun. We have Daniel there, so everybody's coming in, and Daniel and Charlie are kind of taking in the guns, and they're all putting them in one kind of central locker, something similar to like in Alexandria where they have kind of a gun locker or a certain location. The only problem with that is you have one single point of failure because you have no diversification there as far as where they're located. They're all in the same location, so if something happens to that, then they're basically all unarmed, except for Strand, who kind of sneaks in a gun. So as we're having kind of these arguments and things sort of go through between the group, and they're not really kind of getting along, you have Dakota there, you have June doesn't come until later because of what happened just prior, but you have Sarah, who sort of is representation for whatever group June and Sarah are kind of a part of now, sort of splintered off. So we have an explosion that takes place during this that kind of sets things off, and a piece of dynamite, possibly a rock or boulder or something that might have rolled down and hit this piece of dynamite or something. And you kind of have Daniel going through the episode playing detective, and spoiler warning, by the end of the episode, kind of figuring out that he's the one who's been doing all this. So it was a different episode for Walking Dead. I don't think we've ever seen an episode like this before in Walking Dead, which is saying something considering, we've had 10 seasons of the original series. We're now close to the end of our 6th season in Fear, and then 1 season of World Beyond. All the comics and everything. This is a unique episode. I don't think we've ever seen anything like this before. The closest thing to it would be like a whodunit, like with maybe Andrew back at the prison. If you guys remember, we're talking way back, like Killer Within, this type of time frame. That's going way, way back. But this is different, and by the end of the episode, we find out sort of that Daniel is kind of, something's wrong with him. Now he has been hit in the head, and so we got to see that he's got the scar and everything, and he kind of was sort of acting before like he was losing his memory, that kind of thing, or he wasn't quite all there, and it's almost like now that's actually happening to him, and it's kind of tragic to see as you see the episode go through. He's supposed to be in charge. Morgan kind of leaves him to be so. He's certainly super tough and very crafty and everything of the sort. But maybe in this one here, we start to see maybe his craftiness kind of turn in and on itself. So you sort of have a splintering with him, something similar to like maybe a MK Ultra level, type of dissociative identity or splinter, where you have kind of the regular, Daniel that you see and what's happening in his mind there. And then, based on what we're seeing in this episode, unless there's some kind of twist here that we're not seeing, like maybe Charlie did it on purpose or something. I thought of outs for Daniel, but I couldn't really think of one that fit exactly, aside from, because at the end he's leaving and everything, he's going with Strand and whatnot, and kind of needs someone to kind of look after him. So it sort of seems like he has had a splintering of personalities here with Daniel, and he's got kind of the regular personality, which is living his life, doing the normal stuff, and then he has this other one, which is kind of like, which I guess they kind of did set up before, if you remember, like the fire and stuff like this, and him kind of going to this mode and doing this stuff, and so maybe just all the pain that he's gone through after losing Ophelia, losing his family, his wife and everything, as we've seen the series kind of progress through. Certainly it is natural to see something like this, but it's very sad and tragic to actually see him kind of not know what's going on and kind of almost chasing after himself, or chasing after a part of himself, which is pretty interesting to watch through, but very tragic as well too, in that he's now separated, so he's not able to tell what one other half of him is doing at a time. So whether it be explosions or whatever, or hiding the weapons and putting them all in his locker, unless there's something here that I haven't really thought through, and you guys can certainly leave your comments below, it didn't feel like to me this could be kind of a setup, because he does tell, he does tell Charlie and he does tell Grace to kind of go, and then doesn't realize after has the map that kind of show him the map and whatnot. So it's pretty tricky stuff. I can't think of an out for him right now, but before they were pretty crafty with the John thing and Virginia, and it ended up being, the actual truth of the matter ended up being Dakota way down the line. So they're pretty crafty with that. And so I'm not sure 100% if this is where they're going to go with this and stay with this, like Daniel. This is Daniel. This is what's going on with him. Or if there's something here that's just in my blind spot that I'm just not seeing. So fill me in, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think about that. But so far it looks like, Daniel's just kind of losing it, which is pretty, it's pretty sad to see. So let's see, what else do we have in the episode? So you get some walkers kind of coming through here. It feels like sort of a clue, like Clue for a bit, like, you know, who set the explosive, who stole the guns type of thing, which was kind of cool. I like Clue, and again, that's never really been done with Walking Dead before. Kind of a mystery type episode with a very unexpected ending of the episode go through. Like I said, it made me very sad. The walkers looked like they were done in CG almost entirely at certain parts. And they didn't really look that good. Usually the walkers for Fear look pretty good. Generally speaking, the walkers in the original Walking Dead series are sort of the best, which you can kind of come to expect. But in this episode in particular, it's got to be due to all the different stuff that they're doing, and they have to change with what's happening in the world. But they really didn't look good. Certain parts look like video game zombies. Really couldn't tell much of a difference. Other parts look like they were just wearing these huge, I don't know, these huge masks or something of the sort like this, which again we can understand, but I do have to say it did impact the episode a little bit. It did make it a little bit worse for me to go ahead and watch through. So the question of Morgan returning at the end, them kind of figuring out what's going on. Do you think he could be faking it? And it seems that no, it doesn't look to be the case like he could be. We do get a scene between Sherry and Dwight, which is pretty good, and Dakota, possibly a new threat of some kind of survivors that are underground or something like this, which is kind of funny and kind of cool at the same time. So we'll see if the communities can work together long enough to kind of figure out what's going on and take this group down. And you do get some good stuff between Strand and Daniel in this one, where it almost looks like in the opposite of what happened before with the lineup. This time Daniel might shoot Strand, but he ends up not quite doing it. So we also had the vinyl record, which was a pretty cool Traveling Wilbury. Is that what it was? Not a bad choice for vinyl. I like the vinyl. It's kind of cool, and it certainly does fit with Daniel. So. Sad one by the end of the episode for him to develop these kind of psychological issues like this. Very tragic. If you've never seen something like this in real life, certainly as people get older and stuff, people get Alzheimer's, things like that, or if they have been hit in the head real bad, like Daniel has probably several times throughout the zombie apocalypse by now. It's probably something that we would expect to see at some point in the series, but they've never really done before. So it was cool in that regard. It's just really sad because I like Daniel a lot. Now he kind of needs someone to watch over him. But I guess as we get older, that sort of happens to all of us, doesn't it? This one, not purposefully done with him. Just tragic to see it happen. So I'll give this episode a 6.8 out of 10. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't think it was amazing or anything like that, but something new, that's for sure, and tragic for Daniel, unless there's something that I'm just not seeing that's there. It looks like that's what's happening here. So give me your interpretation. It's like the picture of the old lady or the young lady or the old hag, if you guys have seen that. They show it in every psychology course pretty much when you get started, like Psychology 101, where you look at the same picture and some people see it as a young woman and some people see it as an old hag or old lady. Just about every psychology course does that. They make you look at this picture and they try to show it. So people can see things one way or they can see the same thing the other way. And it's all perception, right? So that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. And certainly want to hear your comments for this one, guys, because it is kind of definitely an interesting episode, a psychological episode, but in a tragic way. And I'll see you guys again soon for another video. Live stream this weekend, most likely. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.